afternoon. And a beautiful afternoon it is, not just because the sun is shining, not just because we're in the fabulous Kingswood Auditorium, but because today we celebrate 4 amazing colleagues. And so I am thrilled to welcome you. And for those who are guests here today, and I haven't met, I am A.C. Roche. I am the president of Cranbrook Educational Community. And seeing everyone gathered here today is an incredible reminder of the care, the dedication, and the passion that we have for this place and each other. Over a century ago, George and Ellen Scripps Booth had an audacious dream, one might even say a radical experiment. They envisioned a community unlike any other, where art, science, and education converged to inspire generations. Today, Cranbrook stands as a beacon of excellence in creativity, in learning, in shaping leaders, innovators, and culture makers around the globe. So it is more than fitting that we welcome today and celebrate 4 leaders in excellence, deeply committed in their work and whose contributions enliven this entire community. Thank you again for being here to celebrate with us. As I kick off introductory remarks, please do continue to enjoy the amazing feast and refreshments that are outside and on your tables. This is the 37th year we are gathering to celebrate the President's Award for Excellence. And again, I congratulate Chris, Mike, Kieran, and Kaja being recognized today. It is a privilege and an honor to celebrate you. At the same time today, we owe some gratitude to Cranbrook President Emerita, Dr. Lillian Bauder, who served as president of the community from 1984 to 1996. In 1989, Lillian established the President's Award for Excellence. Later, she and her husband Don created an endowment to support this event and ensure that Cranbrook could continue to recognize and celebrate excellence within our community. Lillian reflected then as she does now. Those of you who were here during my tenure know I spoke often of the importance at Cranbrook of people, program, and place. For me, she said, the greatest of these clearly was the people, the essence of Cranbrook's soul. As Lillian envisioned, this event honors the very soul of our community and excellence in its many forms. And from the very first year, this award has recognized exceptional individuals from every single corner of this majestic and marvelous community: educators, curators, artists, tradesmen and women, staff members, volunteers, and governance leaders. Our director of schools, Dr. Jeff Suzik, and I visited Lillian this past January at her home in Maryland, and she continues to be a trusted advisor and an avid supporter of our community. She cannot be with us today, and we do want to send her a special greeting. And as we have traditionally done, I am going to ask everyone in the room to face the balcony and give a wave to Lillian. We are enjoying this in your spirit, and thank you. Know that in order to memorialize each year's honorees for their permanent and lasting contributions to Cranbrook, we inscribe each honoree's initials on the legs of a bench. At the time of this award's inception, Gary Griffin, artist in residence and head of the metalsmithing department at Cranbrook Academy of Art, designed and fabricated the legs of the original benches. We continue this tradition today and fabricate the benches here on campus. The bench for this year's honorees is on display in the lobby today and will be placed on the path from the Institute of Science to Kingswood Lake, a beautiful spot that we hope gives not only these 4 honorees, but all of us a place for repose and reflection. As I mentioned, this year marks the 37th giving of these awards. All of the recipients have been nominated by their peers, and every year the accolades for the candidates are effusive. In April, just this last year, we celebrated 4 other wonderful colleagues, previous recipients, many of whom are with us today: Heather Groger, Eric Franchi, Kelly Jackson, and Frank Edwards. Let's give them a round of applause. Thus far, there have been 150 individuals who have received the President's Award since its inception and have been commemorated with their own special places on campus. Today, 21 of those recipients join us, and I ask you to stand, please, and be honored again. When we consider what makes Cranbrook unique, we have 927 full, part-time, and seasonal employees. We have hundreds of volunteer leaders, including 475 house and garden auxiliary members, hundreds of parent volunteers at our schools, and over 160 trustees, governors, and volunteer committee members across all of our program areas. These individuals volunteer their time tirelessly. They give of their advice and they give us support as we continue to take strategic steps to create a truly transformational educational experience on this campus and well beyond. Let us take a moment and thank all of our many volunteers. Now, regardless of one's tenure here, be it long or short, and whether you are a member of our visitor services teams, the grounds crew, or an educator, an administrator, or member of our volunteer leadership, each and every one of us is called to contribute to Cranbrook's mission of challenging minds and transforming lives. Each of us gives in our own unique, personal, and very meaningful way. And no one knows this better than each of today's honorees. Diverse in background, expertise, affinity, and wide-ranging life experience, these honorees are all united by a passion for and dedication to Cranbrook. And look at them now. As has become a tradition, at the lunch I get to host and share with the honorees, our selfies are fabulous. As is customary, our honorees have each selected a friend, colleague, or family member to introduce them today. And so we shall begin. Our first honoree's commitment and dedication to Cranbrook spans more than 10 years as a, shall I say, partner in crime? not so much, at Bloomfield Hills Public Safety, even before he joined Cranbrook's Community as our Director of Safety and Security. And before I hand it over to our Chief Operating Officer, Jenny Cedarstrom, to introduce Chris Furlong, I would like to welcome our colleagues from Bloomfield Hills Public Safety, including Director of Public Safety, Jeff King, who is with us today. Thank you, Jeff, and the entire Bloomfield Hills Public Safety team. We are fortunate for your partnership and feel incredibly blessed by it. Thank you for joining us to celebrate Chris, and now, Jenny Cedarstrom.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce Chris Furlong as the recipient of this Excellence Award. Oh my goodness, Chris. I've known Chris for just under a year now and can just say it's an absolute honor to be his supervisor. My first meeting with Chris was last summer after having first joined the organization. And the second I laid foot in his office, I was mesmerized by how neat and clean his office was. But before I could introduce myself, Chris was already in what I can now affectionately only describe as Chris mode. There was no time for pleasantries. Chris immediately got down to business. And I thought, well, I'm his new supervisor. He's probably just excited to bring me up to speed on what he was working on currently. No time for that either. Instead, Chris wanted to talk about the future and proceeded to lay out his very elaborate 5-year strategic plan. Chris continued to go through this plan with conviction. He was on go, full speed, all gas pedal, no brake. And let me say, this was no back-of-the-envelope type plan. This was color-coded. This had multiple tabs. This was ranked and rated by level of difficulty. It was prioritized from the most critical to the least critical. And items were categorized by something that he called 7 building blocks of security, which I had no idea what that was at that time, but I was trying to keep up. And then the demands started, and his wife's shaking her head. Chris went on to say the amount of staffing he would need when, and the amount of funding he would need when, and the day and the month and the year in which each said task that rolls up to this master plan would take place. I mean, it really was a masterpiece. When I asked Chris about potential barriers to the plan, I think I offended him. Because, of course, he had an alternative plan to the plan, and that alternative plan had even greater detail. And so all of this unfolded before I could say, hi, my name is Jenny. Now, I have to admit, the accountant in me, the very detail-oriented person in me, actually, Chris, really loved your clean office, and I really loved your detailed plan. And all I could think as he was on fast-forward speed, how do I clone this person? And then secondarily, I thought, do I need to up my OCD game? I mean, this was stiff competition here. In all seriousness, in that first meeting with Chris, I was struck by his passion, his deep care and guardianship, his heightened awareness, and the level of ownership over protecting all that embodies Cranbrook. And I left that meeting thinking, if the execution of his plan is even half as great as the plan itself, we are in very capable hands. And 11 months later, Chris has delivered on all fronts. He's the Energizer bunny whose battery seemingly never goes out. And Chris, I mean that as the most sincere compliment. He shoulders the weight, the very heavy weight, of the safety and security of every single person that steps on this campus. He does not take his role or his responsibilities lightly, but rather he wears it as a badge of honor and is all in on all fronts. We see the touches of Chris's care throughout this entire campus. These visible ID cards that we wear. And by the way, I saw him scanning the audience. If you're without yours, I'm just saying you may or may not be fined before you leave tonight. Other areas of care, secured card access to all of our buildings. The very impactful visitor management system with actual procedures rolled out to monitor our visitors, to know who is on our campus when. Kiosk for check-in, amazing. And then most recently, the behavioral threat assessment and management training that has already been put to good use since that training in February. And many, many, many other items that you see and feel across this campus that were a part of Chris's 100-step plan. Chris is forever, and I mean forever, looking for ways to evaluate our safety and security on this campus. For every goal that Chris achieves, I can tell you he's adding 3 more. He is continuously looking, learning, listening, and adjusting. Chris is also very collaborative. He knows the value of building strong relationships with those outside the community. Partnering with Bloomfield Hills Police Department, which are here tonight, the FBI, and many other community leaders and vendors, both locally and beyond, because Chris understands that it takes a village and that 1 + 1 is 3. He's also collaborative with parent groups and student groups. He genuinely cares and wants to hear their concerns and get their input. He's also collaborative internally with his peers, with other leaders across the Cranbrook campus, always looking for ways to say yes first to whatever the task may be. He's a fabulous supervisor and mentor. He's consistently looking for opportunities to engage, train, and further develop his team. And as his supervisor, I appreciate that Chris always keeps me in the loop on all things safety and security related. And I especially appreciate those 2 a.m. updates where the incident, thankfully, is about a cheesy pizza that burned in a toaster oven, again. And as an aside, I will say that you never get over the uneasiness of a call in the middle of the night, and secretly now I find myself wishing for the cheesy pizza again. And the odds are pretty good because it turns out our academy students are really hungry between the hours of 1 and 3 a.m. But from the less significant burnt pizza incidents to the slightly more significant matters that are addressed throughout the year, Chris treats every matter with a level of seriousness, with a level of detail and care that it deserves. Chris's dedication never falters. We are all in better hands because of Chris's leadership. Now, one would think that in Chris's spare time, he would go home, relax with his family and his friends, but over the last 4 months, Chris has been studying in the evenings and on the weekends for the CPP exam, the Certified Protection Professional Exam, which is an exam that covers 7 areas of focus around security principles and practices, business principles, investigations, crisis management, etc. But in short, it's widely recognized as a standard of excellence in security management. And I'm proud to report, not surprisingly, that Chris recently passed that exam with flying colors. Chris desires to do more than just improve safety and security. He wants to be the best in class, a shining example that others look to for best practices. Chris, thank you for being our shining example and for setting the standard for what a leader of excellence looks like. President Roche, it is my pleasure to present to you Christopher Furlong, recipient of the 2025 President's Award for Excellence.
Thank you, Jenny. We have a little surprise, Chris. We asked a few of your friends and colleagues to share with us some words about you.
My favorite uncle.
Analytical. Super fun.
Stalwart. Phenomenal team player.
Humorous.
Generous.
Driven.
Eager.
Meticulous.
Boisterous.
Generous.
Hard work and perseverance.
Particular.
Bougie and Swifty.
Genuine.
Caring.
Reliable.
Leader, charismatic, and precise.
Methodical.
Courageous.
Visionary.
Zealous person.
Stylish. Dallas Roadrunner. Just fast.
Chris is just sweet. Diligent.
Caring.
Driven.
I think Chris is a wonderful son.
Fox.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Dependable.
Energetic.
One word I would use to describe Chris is selfless. Congrats, Chris. There's no one more deserving.
Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you, AC. Thank you, Jenny. I'm truly honored to receive the President's Award, and even more grateful to be forever bench buddies with Kaja, Kieran, and Mike. What an incredible honor it is to be part of that team and share this moment with all of them. I want to begin by recognizing that this moment isn't just about me, but it's the incredible people who have supported, challenged, and stood beside me. With that in mind, I would like to share a moment that has stayed with me and helped shape the person I am today. I vividly remember sitting in Jeff Suzik's office one afternoon after we had just worked through a particular challenging situation. As we debriefed, I expressed to Jeff I was still adjusting to the responsibility of being the one others looked to for guidance. I admitted sometimes I questioned whether I had the experience, the education, or even the ability to be that person. Jeff listened without judgment. He then introduced me to a concept I'd never heard before, imposter syndrome. The idea that those who are most capable are often the ones who doubt themselves, while those who probably should be asking questions rarely do. That explanation was powerful, but what meant more to me was what Jeff didn't do. He didn't try to fix me. He didn't rattle off my accomplishments. He didn't talk about my doubts. He simply expressed he believed in me. And that, more than anything, showed me the incredible power of having someone in your corner, someone who sees your potential, even in the moments that you can't see it yourself. That single conversation has never left me. It has shaped how I show up as a colleague, a leader, and a person. It taught me that believing in someone, especially when they're struggling to believe in themselves, is one of the most powerful gifts you can offer. In a world that often is measured by titles, achievements, checklists, sometimes the greatest comes from the quiet moments of faith. A simple reminder, letting somebody know you are seen, you are capable, and you are enough. With that thought, I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for many of you in the room. At one time or another, you believed in me, you encouraged me, you challenged me, and you simply stood by me. First and foremost, my wife of 17 years, Jen. my true MVP. She's weathered late night calls, dropped plans, and all the just 5 more minute moments that turn into hours. Your love, your patience, and your quiet strength are what keep me grounded. You've never once asked for recognition, but tonight I want everybody to know this wouldn't be possible without you. You've carried the weight of our home so I could carry the weight of this work, and you've done it with grace, with humor, and unwavering belief in me. Thank you. To my daughters, Olivia and Emily, you may not fully understand what your dad does these days. Olivia once put it perfectly. Dad, you used to be cool. You drove a fire truck, you drove a police car, and now you just yell at kids about homework. Honestly, she's not far off. But even with that sharp wit, you both show so much patience and grace. Like your mom, you've been incredibly understanding when I have to take a call, send an email, or stay late, sacrificing time with you. And for that, I'm truly grateful. To my parents, Pat and Sharon, thank you for giving me my foundation. You didn't just teach hard work and integrity, you lived it. You showed me what it means to show up fully, do the right thing, and take pride in every effort. For all of that and so much more, thank you. To AC and Jenny, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your trust, and fostering an environment where people can be empowered to show up, take ownership, strive for something bigger than themselves. Thank you for pushing us all to grow and lead boldly. To my team, across all shifts, you are the heartbeat of this community. You show up on the coldest mornings. You lock up an entire 332-acre campus. You protect our space while the rest of the world sleeps. You are the unsung heroes, the ones who work behind the scenes, yet carry the weight of keeping this place running. I see you, I respect you, and I'm incredibly grateful for each of you. Thank you for showing up, for giving your best, and for being the backbone of this operation. To Lauren, since day one, you've been a steady hand, constant support. You choose to lead without being asked, and I'm deeply grateful. You handle what needs to be done with care and purpose, always lifting others without asking credit. You make our team stronger, our work better, and my days easier. I couldn't do this job without you. And Austin, thank you for stepping up during Lauren's absence. Your unwavering willingness and dedication has made a great impact. And now Amela, let's be honest. I couldn't give this speech without mentioning her. Not just because she'd call me out mid-sentence, which she absolutely would, but because she's one of my greatest constants at Cranbrook. Amela's more than a colleague. She's a friend. She's the kind of teammate everyone hopes for. She brings energy, laughter, and just the right amount of sarcasm, especially when things get heavy. She's the first to speak up, step in, and cheer others on, and I'm incredibly lucky to work alongside her. We've known each other for years, and we both know neither of us would be here without our late friend and colleague, Kelvin. His influence has led us here, and not a week goes by that we don't think of him, share a memory, or quietly feel his presence in the work that we do. I am, and always will be, grateful that he brought me here to Cranbrook to be part of this great story. And to our incredible community, thank you. I'm lucky to serve in a role at this great institution that allows me to connect with nearly every program area and every employee across campus. No matter who I call or when I call, the phone is usually answered with the same cautious, uncertain tone. Hello. But behind that hesitation is always the willingness to help, spirit of teamwork, and a shared commitment to making things work. Thank you for this incredible honor. I don't take this moment or this community for granted. I'm deeply grateful, endlessly inspired, and fully committed to continuing this work with heart, with purpose, and with all of you together as one Cranbrook. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And now, I'd like to welcome forward Derek Agnatowski, Director of Operations, who will introduce a tireless steward of every tree, of every leaf, of every little creature that inhabits those trees and leaves, of every invasive thing that climbs their way up those trees. Michael Lenoway. Please, Derek.
Thank you, AC. Good afternoon. Today I have the incredible honor of recognizing someone whose dedication, I thought you guys were laughing at me. Dedication, quiet strength, deep-rooted leadership have left a lasting mark on Cranbrook and on its grounds and on all of us. Let me tell you about Michael Lenoway. Mike's journey has stretched across more than 25 years, 3 remarkable decades. He began as a groundskeeper, working with his hands in the very soil that so many of us have walked across, admired, and fallen in love with. His work is not just maintenance. It's the heartbeat beneath the surface of this place, the hallowed grounds. His legacy runs deeper than any root he's planted. Mike has dedicated thousands of hours in every season through every kind of Michigan weather, sometimes in multiple days, clearing snow before dawn, battling rainstorms and blizzards, managing fallen trees, flooded paths. He's shown up without fanfare to ensure safety, beauty, and stability across campus. One of Mike's proudest contributions is the Greenhouse Initiative. He'll certainly tell you about it, where he helped make our landscaping more sustainable. It's allowed the grounds team to germinate and grow grasses, shrubs, and flowers year-round, a living legacy grown from vision and care. As the seasons turned, Mike didn't just cultivate landscape, he cultivated himself and those around him. As supervisor, he began shaping his leadership style grounded in humility, observation, and collaboration. He recognized where he could grow. He nurtured the strengths of his team, guiding them not with just direction, but with trust. And let's talk more about Mike's leadership. Mike has cultivated, like a master gardener, a diverse and dynamic team that works across campus with a can-do attitude. His daily meetings build connection where every voice is heard and the teams feel empowered. His team reflects his mindset, abundant, creative, and resilient. Time after time, they deliver excellence that not only supports our campus, but elevates it. And Mike's leadership reaches beyond his team. He's become a trusted communicator during severe weather events, keeping our community informed with clarity and calm. In moments of uncertainty, he's the steady voice that brings us reassurance. His leadership and his character are reflected in the team that crafts, cares for, and preserves this historic campus. Their work provides the backdrop to everything that happens here. These grounds become a stage where students grow, artists create, and lives are changed. It's not just where we work, it's a place where we thrive. And thanks in large part to Mike, it's a place we're proud to call home. So when the manager role opened, Mike didn't just step in to replicate the past. He brought more than 2 decades of hard-earned experience, insight, and integrity, and began leading with his own voice and vision. Mike grew here at Cranbrook, and Cranbrook grew with him. Today, we honor that journey with this award, with a commemorative bench that will be placed on campus, a bench that is not just a seat, but a symbol of a career spent cultivating beauty as the backdrop of our historic campus. A colleague once said of Mike, he doesn't just clear paths, He creates them for all of us. And to close, I'll leave you with a quote that perfectly captures the spirit of Mike's legacy. As Nelson Henderson once said, "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under those whose shade you do not expect to sit." From hands in the soil to hands on the helm, President Roche, it is my pleasure to present you Michael Lenaway, recipient of the 2025 President's Award for Excellence.
Michael, let's hear what a few of your friends and colleagues have to say.
Mike Lenaway is knowledgeable.
A prankster at times.
Hard worker.
Trees. Mike is just very dedicated.
Committed.
Exceptional.
And Mike Lenaway is the definition of a team player.
Caring.
Mike's a great communicator.
Kind.
Mike is great. Creative.
He's a great leader.
And Mike is encouraging.
Very knowledgeable.
I'm Matt. I've worked with Mike for about 26 years. Great guy, much better boss than a coworker.
He's a great guy.
The department has never run so smoothly.
Michael is a problem solver.
Michael is my firstborn.
Hello, I'm Bruce Willis. Mike Lenaway should be in movies.
Thank you, Derek and AC. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm in a bit of a unique position here because I spent 20 years at Cranbrook before moving into management in 2020, just before COVID hit. And in those 20 years, I had a lot of time to reflect, like at 3 in the morning, shoveling snow in the quad, asking myself, why did I go to college to do this? But during those years, I also had plenty of time to think. Because let's face it, things like snow removal at 3 a.m. aren't exactly team brainstorming sessions. So over time, I built a mental list that I'm gonna retroactively title, "This is how I would have done things differently." So today, receiving the President's Award is deeply meaningful. It proves, at least to me, that maybe I didn't have a bad attitude for those first 20 years. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to put many of my ideas into action. More seriously, though, I wouldn't be standing here today without my team. This award and the way the campus looks reflects their hard work, skill, and dedication. From Mike Nagy, our landscape supervisor, to each and every crew member, including those here today, Matt Curran, Peyton Malowitz, Sophia Tesmer, and Elena Rodriguez, and everyone else who couldn't be here today. They bring energy, pride, and craftsmanship into every inch of Cranbrook, whether it's early morning snow removal, spring plantings, or preserving the beauty of our historic grounds. They approach everything with care, integrity, and expertise. I accept this award on behalf of all of them. Cranbrook isn't just a workplace. It's a living, breathing environment that inspires learning, creativity, and reflection. Every path, every tree, every garden that plays a part in that experience. Helping to shape and maintain this place is more than a job. It's a responsibility and an honor. Thank you to the leadership of Cranbrook for your support, for recognizing the value of thoughtful, well-kept landscapes. Thank you to my family, especially my wife, for your patience during the long days and unpredictable winter weather. And to my colleagues in operations and across campus, thank you for the collaboration, problem solving, and especially for the communication. Whether it was coordinating a project, adjusting a schedule, or just checking in, the constant dialogue is what keeps this place, this unique place, running smoothly and helps all of us to do our best work. This award is definitely shared with all of you. I've come a long way from my first week here, when it took me 5 full days of mowing grass to realize there was an entrance off of Woodward, and I did not have to drive down 25-mile-per-hour Bloomfield Hill roads struggling to get here on time. Thank you, MapQuest, 2000. So thank you again for this recognition, and I'm proud to be a part of Cranbrook's legacy. I look forward to continuing my work here, rooted in growth and service. Thanks.
And now we honor upper school faculty member at Cranbrook Schools, Kieran Reynolds, who, when you walk into his teaching spaces, manifests that amorphous concept of curiosity that then leads to discovery, that then leads to true transformation. Chris Kuza, father of 3 wonderful Cranbrook students, one of whom is graduating this year. Congratulations. Will introduce Kieran to us. Please, Chris.
Thank you, President Roche. You know, sometimes you're driving down the road and you're dropping off your 3 children to Cranbrook, and you make a stop at Brookside, and you make a stop at the middle school, and then you make a stop at the Friendship Circle. And of all places, there's a young man walking, and he says, Dr. Reynolds, I don't have this, or I don't have that, and I don't know what he's saying. And I look at my daughter, Sophia, and I say, who is that? She says, that's Dr. Reynolds. He's my computer science teacher, and he is really, really cool. I would like to introduce you. And it's fitting that I got to meet my best friend at the Friendship Circle. And when I say best friend, I can tell you stories of crying, weeping, happiness, a birth of a child, and all kinds of different things that best friends do together. And Dr. Reynolds, Kieran Reynolds, is my best friend. And I can tell you that he takes an interest not just in me as a best friend, but all of the parents that walk through the halls of Cranbrook wondering what's going to happen to their child. Because think about it. As I drove through, I dropped 3 children to 3 different buildings. They spend more time with all of you in all of your different capacities than they do with probably their mom and dad. So thank you to all of you, but most of all, Dr. Reynolds. Dr. Reynolds, the professor, the teacher, the advisor that walks through the hallways and all of the kids follow. Dr. Reynolds, the one who will tell you, so what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Well, I want to be a doctor, an engineer, but I don't really like computer science. Well, have you ever thought about ethics and AI? Have you ever thought about mechatronics? Have you ever thought about making a prosthetic arm or changing the way farming is thought of or done? All of these things, all of these items are done by Dr. Reynolds. Cranbrook may have been known for the arts, but today it's known for its computer science department, a department that's the most important department in the entire school. As AI changes everything, it will change art. It changes the way we send emails. It changes the way we are all going to act and interact with one another. And he is teaching the future leaders of how to contend with all of this and getting them excited. It may not be their thing, but he gets them excited to learn, to make it their thing. And the next thing you know is you have students such as Joni Applefield and Michelle Day, and I can go on and talk about my daughter's friends who went from, I'm going to be an English major, to I'm going to be a computer science major. And that happens by Dr. Reynolds being who he is. And thank God he is who he is, because I've had numerous conversations and I said, how did you get here? And we talk about life. And he said, you know, Chris, one time I was working through my scholarship at my university, and I had a job where I was beta testing all kinds of software, and nothing was going right. The professors were rough on me. I had to keep a certain grade point average to keep my scholarship. Moreover, the beta testing was going horribly. So I just decided I'm going home. He goes home, walks in. Mom and Dad say, how are you doing today, Kieran? And he says to them, don't want to talk about it. I can't do this. I'm done. Goes in his room, goes to bed. Now, thank God for Kieran's mom and dad, because they too had his wit. They too have his way of inspiring. So what did they do? Kieran wakes up expecting a nice breakfast, he tells me, or expecting to sit down and have coffee with his mom. But instead he found 2 pieces of paper and a bag. He first was intrigued. He went to the bag, he opened the bag, and what does he find? A McDonald's hat, a McDonald's shirt, a McDonald's pants, McDonald's uniform. He then looked at the 2 pieces of paper. One happened to be a McDonald's application. The other one was a letter, and the letter stated, in order to be successful, you sometimes have to do good at the things that you absolutely hate. Or your other option is, would you like a side of fries with that? And Dr. Reynolds said to me, I took the bag, I put it in my backpack, I took the letter and the application, and I saved it. And I went through life looking at these things. And then I was just curious. I said, I got to see the letter. And he showed me the letter. I said, now I'm even more curious. What happened to the McDonald's outfit? He said, I don't know where it went. I used it as a Halloween outfit one time when I didn't have any money to spring for a Halloween outfit. But that being said, looking at some of the things Dr. Reynolds has done, the computer science department is oversubscribed. His classes are oversubscribed. Looking at our AP results in computer science and math, they are off the charts. When other faculty and administration come to me and say, do you know what's so cool about your friend, Kieran Reynolds? The University of Michigan, the University of Wisconsin call and say, how the heck are these Cranbrook students passing cybersecurity exams that we've got people at master's levels who can't do that? That comes from Dr. Reynolds. His passion for computer science, his passion for people, his passion for the students, his willingness to give himself back to each and every one of us as students, as parents, as colleagues, and as staff. So it is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you President Roche, the 2025 President's Award of Excellence, Kieran Reynolds.
Let's see what Kieran's friends and colleagues have to say.
Sigma. Kieran is genuine.
Intelligent.
Supportive. Kieran, congratulations. You're amazing and extraordinary.
You're the Pied Piper of computer science students and the hacker of student hearts.
Passionate.
One word I would use to describe Dr. Reynolds is mentor.
And I would describe Dr. Reynolds as funny.
And I would describe Dr. Reynolds as enigmatic.
One word I would use to describe Dr. Reynolds is understanding.
The word I would use to describe Dr. Reynolds is supportive.
My name is Rich Lamb, and I am Keenan's predecessor, flexible.
Kieran is inspiring.
Well, I don't think mine's going to be as good as the other speeches, but I'm going to try. So, I am deeply honored to be recognized by Cranbrook. It's a community that is, both passionate, inspiring, and, it's the most committed place I've ever known. Tonight, for me, is really about gratitude, because no one gets here alone. First, I want to thank my parents. They're in the UK. They're gonna watch this at some point. And for me, they worked tirelessly, often behind the scenes. They gave me opportunities they never had, and they kept me grounded, focused, and always moving forward, and I owe them everything. My wife, Michaela, she's my rock, my compass, and the reason anything in my life actually works. Without her, I'd probably be stranded in an airport somewhere, holding an expired visa, wondering where my lessons went. Like, she really does everything, so thank you. Jim and Lil, who made it out here all the way from California, thank you for teaching me to drive the American way, which for a Brit meant unlearning everything I thought I knew about driving, including roads, steering wheels, roundabouts. The Couzers, I don't even know where to begin. They have become, family. And for us, Chris is always there to offer support, encouragement. We've had a lot of laughs, a lot of tears. Chris is pretty much the older brother, the much older brother. He's always ready with encouragement, advice. And the weird thing about Chris, he's got really good sandwich recommendations. Like, really good. Every family needs a steady hand, which is where Greg Miller comes in. Greg, I was going to write Greg as like my American dad, but I thought that wouldn't be like suitable for a speech. But he is the most tremendous friend, colleague, everything in between. I think I've asked this man a million questions about Cranbrook, about life, just anything. And even if I call him in the middle of the day, the middle of the night, for some strange reason, he still picks up the phone. And of course, there'd be, a speech would not be a speech without a little bit of colleague embarrassment. And there's two colleagues that, for me, have made my transition, not just to Cranbrook, but to the US, kind of seamless. The first is Jacob Hazard. He is my personal Cranbrook welcome committee. He was the first voice I heard on the phone. He was the first person I met. He was the first person at every single turn at Cranbrook. And at one point, I did start to wonder if Cranbrook had assigned him to me as a personal concierge. And then there's Noelle, our head of upper school, the rare leader who says yes when most would hesitate. I've brought her, honestly, some really crazy ideas, like building trebuchets in the middle of Michigan winter, and she simply will always say, "How can I help?" To all my colleagues, there's far too many to name. You are the heart of Cranbrook that makes it an extraordinary place, and I'm lucky to work aside all of you. And finally, to my students, past and present, you enjoy my bad jokes, you push me to be better, and you remind me every day why this work matters. None of this would mean anything without anyone here today. Thank you.
And now, our final honoree today, Kaja Tamakos. As our, woohoo, give it up. As our signature fundraiser at the Institute of Science proclaims, Women Rock Science. Some women just period rock, and that would be Kaja. We are fortunate today to have two colleagues Kaja has chosen to introduce her. Eileen Savage, Chief Advancement Officer, and Michael Stafford, Director of the Institute of Science.
Thank you, AC. Kaja. There are moments in our lives when we remember exactly where we were and what we were doing when something big happened. I was sitting at my desk on the 3rd floor of Cranbrook House, back to the windows, facing the door, staring at piles of papers and a bit of chaos. Still new to Cranbrook myself, I was given the opportunity to start building Cranbrook's version of the Dream Team. First up, we were on the hunt for a fundraising leader for our Institute of Science. A 5-page resume from Natchitoches, Louisiana, grabbed my attention. The applicant's executive summary stated, top-performing professional with over 10 years of nonprofit experience specializing in arts, culture, and educational institutions. Particular strengths include proven leader with a record of driving the big picture, effectively working with constituent groups, including boards, committees, volunteers, alumni, parents, and other external audiences to promote alignment with organizational goals. Collaborating with internal groups to meet goals and overcome obstacles. Leading organizations through periods of growth and transition. Passion for fundraising. Excellent public speaking skills. And the resume went on. Degrees in arts administration, theater, and anthropology were followed by professional experience as the executive director of the Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts Foundation, assistant director of corporate and foundation relations at the College for Creative Studies, multiple sightings of professional development through the Association of Fundraising Professionals and the Council for the Advancement and Support of Education. And then, as if that weren't enough, Razor's Edge, certified fundraising executive, recipient of the Above and Beyond Award. I overlooked the reference to Michigan State. Go Blue. I picked up the phone and I called Mike Stafford. And I said, Mike, there is a God, and her name is Kaja. One of the first things we all had to learn when Kaja joined us was how to say her name. Kaja. Kaja. Say it with me. Kaja. You can only really say her name properly on an exhale. Kaja. Notice what happens when you say her name. You exhale. You breathe out. Your shoulders drop. You naturally relax. You know everything is going to be okay. Kaja, your quiet confidence, professionalism, and exemplary leadership is something I and your Cranbrook colleagues enjoy day in and day out. And your constancy is shown to the many leaders we are entrusted with as well who offer this well-deserved high praise. Adele Atchison, Cranbrook Senior Trustee and co-founder of Women Rock Science, all the rockers out there, says, when I think of my experience of working with Kaja, I remember being so impressed that the Institute of Science would have an advancement professional with her skill set on staff. Kaja has been an enthusiastic partner in building Women Rock Science and championing the event while helping the volunteers facilitate its growth. Kaja has a great facility for communication and creativity and a nice touch when working with donors and sponsors. Women Rock Science wouldn't be nearly as successful if it weren't for Kaja's efforts to ensure its solid foundation. Lindsay Venegas, Cranbrook trustee, leader of Women Rock Science, and president of the Ideal Group, offered, "It has been an absolute privilege collaborating with you. Together, we have embarked on numerous ambitious projects that have showcased your unwavering determination, innovative mindset, and extraordinary organizational prowess. Your ability to embrace new ideas with enthusiasm and execute them with precision and diligence is truly commendable. You are unquestionably deserving of the prestigious 2025 President's Award for Excellence. May you continue to reach remarkable milestones and inspire those around you."
And as I'm looking for my pages in here just for a second, I will tell you what I have learned is it's the easiest way to teach a donor to say Kaja's name is to tell them it's like Jaja, Gabor. And most of them get it, and it sticks with them. But I have heard her name brutalized in every conceivable way for all the years we've worked together. There are people who do their jobs well, and then there are those rare few who elevate the work, the team, and the entire institution simply by being who they are. Kaja is one of these rare few. She is, without question, the embodiment of professionalism, dedication, and integrity. But what makes Kaja truly extraordinary is the heart that she brings to absolutely everything she does. Lee Smith, current board chair of the Institute and vice president and CFO of Flagstar, added, "Kaja is Cranbrook through and through. She is one of the most hardworking, dedicated, and humble people I know. She is the consummate team player and always puts the need of Cranbrook and others ahead of herself. She's fully deserving of this award, and I know she will continue to shine and be successful in whatever capacity or situation she finds herself in." Kaja's kindness and transparency are not just admirable traits, they are core to how she leads, how she communicates, and how she inspires. Whether she's working alongside staff, engaging donors, or representing Cranbrook and the broader community, she does so with sincerity, warmth, and a deep respect for others. It's no surprise that so many people, colleagues, supporters, and community members alike, trust her, rely upon her, and are moved by her example. What Kaja brings to the role isn't just talent, though, although she has plenty of it. It's not just passion, although her passion for Cranbrook's mission is unmatched. What Kaja brings is an energy, an infectious enthusiasm that ignites something in others. She has a rare gift, the ability to make people believe in the work, to get excited about the possibilities, and to say yes when they might have hesitated otherwise. We've seen it time and time again, staff who go the extra mile because Kaja believes in them, donors who give because Kaja helped them see the impact, programs that thrive because she guided them with a steady hand, a discerning eye, and a generous spirit. She brings a relentless work ethic to everything she touches, meticulous in detail, tireless in effort, and always striving for excellence. But even in the midst of the most complex project or the busiest season, Kaja remains a grounding presence, calm, thoughtful, and unwavering in her commitment to our service-oriented mission. To her young staff, Kaja is more than a leader. She is a mentor, a cheerleader, and a trusted friend. She lifts others up, helps them to find their voice, and creates space for them to grow and succeed. And to those of us who have worked with her more closely, we know the quiet power of her leadership, the kind that doesn't seek the spotlight, but inevitably earns respect and admiration. Kaja, you represent the very best of Cranbrook, its values, its heart, and its future. You remind us all what it means to serve with purpose, to lead with compassion, and to believe deeply in the transformative power of the work we do at Cranbrook. President Roche, it is our pleasure to present to you Kaja Tamakis, recipient of the 2025 President's Award for Excellence.
And now let's see what other friends and colleagues have to say.
Warm. Welcoming.
Knowledgeable.
Supportive.
Tenacious.
Phenomenal. Dedicated. Passionate.
Hardworking. Amazing.
Discerning.
Awesome.
Kind.
Forward thinking.
Passionate. Kaja's passionate about her friends, passionate about her family, passionate about her job, and that's why I love her.
Kaja is dedicated.
Please.
Smart. Exceptional.
Extraordinary.
Hunt. Multi-talented.
Dedicated.
Empowering.
Resilient.
Phenomenal.
Kind. Capable.
Camaraderie inspired.
Resilient.
Beautiful. Kaja is beautiful from the inside out.
All right, you guys got me with those videos. Oh my gosh, thank you. Love you all. Thank you so much, Mike and Eileen. You know, I have had the pleasure of working with those two for the past 7.5 years, and I have to tell you, I don't think I could imagine more supportive, amazing human beings to help usher me through my career here at Cranbrook. So thank you so much for the two of you. Love you both. Thank you to AC. Thank you to my colleagues who nominated me for this amazing award. I am so humbled. I am so honored by your confidence in me. And I love what I do. And it is really easy to love what you do when you work for a place like Cranbrook. And outside of all of the obvious reasons why this is a phenomenal place to work, are some of my favorite things that are unusual and some of the madcap adventures that we sometimes find ourselves in through the work of advancement. And make no mistake, fundraising is a team sport, and we have had a whole lot of fun together in the pursuit of raising funds for our community. Like the time Eric Franchi, Michael Stahoviak, and I tried to jumpstart a battery on a Mercedes that we were trying to raffle off. Way harder than you would think. Or the time that Mike Stafford, Taylor Travnick, and Trevor Lauer and I tried to hold a pheasant hunt with no pheasants. Successfully, I might add. Thank you, bird flu. Or the time that we all saved Steggy the Stegosaurus. Or the time that Eileen and I had a volunteer over lunch draw us a map to our soul's salvation on a restaurant napkin. Eileen, I still have it just in case we need it. Or when Mike Stafford and I got to hike through Sunset Crater in Arizona with a donor. I mean, listen, the list goes on of the fun and the unusual things that we get to do in our line of work, and I love my job. One of the things, though, that I am proudest of at Cranbrook is Women Rock Science, which is now under the very capable hands of Madeline Aberly. And shout out to all of my team members in their Women Rock shirts today. Thank you. Woo. So, as you heard earlier, and you may not have known this, the original idea for Women Rock Science came from Adele Atchison, who was right there, who was an amazing lady. And Adele, along with Lindsay Venegas, became the two founding co-chairs of this event, which is about to celebrate its 8th year as the signature fundraising experience at the Institute of Science. And the success of that event has been based on the tremendous relationships that we have built together, and it will always be one of my greatest honors to have been a part of the origins of Women Rock Science. Fundraising, of course, is first and foremost about relationships. And it is such a privilege to be in a position where I get to advocate for the important work that we do here at Cranbrook with such passionate and dedicated people. And thank you to all of my colleagues and our volunteers and our supporters for making the work that we do here so powerful and so meaningful. Thank you. I also want to thank my family for all of their love and support. And you know, it's a crazy career I've chosen, fundraising, and you've always had my back. And so, quick shout out to my mom, Denise, my son, Daniel, who, by the way, is going to be Cranbrook's newest summer camp counselor this year at the Institute. Woo! My daughter, Ella, who she couldn't be here because she's taking her college final exams this week. And of course, my amazing, amazing husband, Jeff, who is my rock, who is everything, and who has always, always had my back and always supported me and my career goals. I love you all. Thank you. So look, I'm gonna get vulnerable here for a minute. I'm gonna wrap up with a little bit of personal news. So, as many of you know, I've been on medical leave for the past few weeks. But what most of you don't know is that the same week that I found out I was being honored with one of the President's Awards for Excellence, I also found out I had cancer. And the past couple of months have been, well, they've been hard, and they've been filled with a lot of fear and uncertainty and a scary surgery, but they've also been filled with joy and love and the tremendous support of my friends and my family and my colleagues. And so many of you from my Cranbrook family, you have lifted my spirits, and you have been a bright light in what has been an otherwise really dark time. From your cards and your gifts that you've sent, your books and Wordles, and a Jean-Luc Picard coffee mug, which fan favorite, by the way, thank you. And your phone calls and your text messages and your hilarious memes from the show Yellow Jackets, thank you. You have just made the past few weeks so much better. Shakespeare has a line in The Merchant of Venice that I think is appropriate here. So shines a good deed in a naughty world. And while the world has been a little bit naughty lately, your good deeds of friendship, of laughter, and of kindness have bolstered me, and I am stronger because of you. Thank you.
And we will continue to shine that light on whatever you face ahead. Kaja. Let us please congratulate again this year's President's Award for Excellence honorees, Chris, Mike, Kieran, Kaja. Congratulations. And let us thank those who introduced and presented them to us today. Jenny, Derek, Chris, Eileen, and Mike, thank you for your words. And of course, we thank those who are responsible for making today happen. Vijay Iyer, Erica Stefani, Marianne Tashesky, and Molly McGrath. Thank you. As well as our facilities, capital projects, and housekeeping staffs, and of course, our colleagues at Chartwells. Thank you so much for all you did today. We began today by reminding ourselves of George and Ellen's vision for Cranbrook, and as we close, I share other words by George Booth from 1927. We have blazed a new trail. It will be largely the work of others to extend, to widen, and to improve it, and make it into a highway that on both sides of which may be reared lasting and beautiful edifices, on a foundation which I trust will be found imperishable. As we approach Cranbrook's next century, George's words provide us with a blueprint, might I say, a mandate, for shaping Cranbrook's next era of excellence, our strategic vision, and our mission of challenging minds and truly transforming lives. Our four honorees' work, passion, commitment, and courage to move our community into its next era are emblematic of George's mandate. Chris's vision for a community that is a safe place for learners of all ages, visitors and residents alike, challenging the status quo, bringing his deep knowledge and experience to the table, and continuing to challenge himself and our community to do even better. Mike's steadfast commitment to maintaining and improving our award-winning, beautiful 320-plus acres as a place of solace and a source of inspiration to so many, oftentimes battling the force of nature, literally, and forging new paths to ensure the campus remains accessible to everyone, not just today, but for generations to come. Kieran's drive to have the classroom be a nexus for critical and ethical thinking, encouraging our students to embrace future technologies and artificial intelligence to explore and solve some of the most pressing issues of our time, be they environmental, medical, or societal. Collaborating with colleagues and experts in and outside of Cranbrook to help us shape that future and transformational learning. And Kaja, with her unrelenting passion for advancing not just the work of the Institute of Science, but all of Cranbrook, garnering the resources that allow us to serve our students and the thousands of learners from our neighboring communities who visit Cranbrook annually, exciting them about the opportunities at that intersection of art, science, history, nature, and education, fulfilling the promise of George and Ellen's vision of an educational community in service to all. Chris, Mike, Kieran, and Kaja, with your colleagues and friends, I marvel at how your devotion to Cranbrook's ideals helps us grow and transform the lives of so many, and how you are moving Cranbrook forward. That is what we mean and how we define excellence. Guests and friends, thank you for joining us for this special day. Please remember to sign the photo mats that are outside on this hallway for each of our honorees. They will showcase a formal portrait of them from today. And so we want that keepsake. And please jot down your words for them. Congratulations again to Chris, Mike, Kieran, and Kaja. please all linger and continue to enjoy this day together. Thank you.